It's a Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Indian time, and we are with our NRIs for Indian Education and Skills webinar series. We are in conversation with Dr. PRIYA ji from USA, the director for Immortality Institute, Houston, Texas. And she's telling these weeks to us on new avenues for educators. So before I invite ma'am to further talk on to different aspects that can be brought in education for giving a mental health and mental robustness for the educators and the students, I would like to show you a few slides to all my dear audience, those who have joined us on YouTube live channel. And these slides will include majorly what is the significance of 8th May. And that is very, very important. So let's just see how important is 8th May world over. So the very first thing is 8th May is celebrated across the world as the World Red Cross Day. And why it is celebrated as World Red Cross and Crescent Day is the Red Cross Society has been brought up by Henry Dunant, and he's the founder of Red Cross Society International Committee, and he is the first Nobel Peace Prize winner also. And today is his birthday. That is, he was born on 8th May 1828. So his birth anniversary is celebrated across the world as World Red Cross Day. But still, this particular society has given a lot of to the society and has served people, humanity all across the globe. And it teaches us that मानवता और निस्वार्थ सेवा का कभी पतन नहीं होना चाहिए और ना ही कभी पतन होगा. और ये आज का दिन भी हमें यही सिग्निफाई करता है that we as a human being, we have to take care of each other. And 2022 theme is also that for the World Red Cross Day is be humankind. We have to be kind to each other. So apart from this World Red Cross Day, today is World Thalassemia Day as well. So take care of each other, donate blood so that it will go to the required person and it will help in saving life of one or the other person in a better way. So give blood, give life, and just take care of everyone, all the people you're surrounded with. If each one of us get this pledge with themselves that we will take care of our surroundings, I think it will give a multiplier effect in the world, and everybody will be in harmony with everyone. So just think on it and just take care of everyone. And though today the day is also celebrated as Happy Mother's Day, but I think that this particular day is a significant day for mothers across the globe. But every day is Mother Day, and every day is a family day, every day is a Father's Day, and whatnot. We should take care of everyone, and most significantly, we should not forget the person because of which we are here on the earth and we are what we are. So माँ से बड़ा तो कोई नहीं हो सकता. और मदर्स डे है, उसके सिग्निफिकेंस में आज, क्योंकि इसके जरिए मुझे एक संबोधन देने का मौका मिला है, तो मैं एक छोटा सा कोट यहाँ पे पढ़ना चाहूंगी जो आप सब अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख रहे हैं कि उसके रहते जीवन में कोई गम नहीं होता, दुनिया साथ दे ना दे पर माँ का प्यार कभी कम नहीं होता. तो माँ का एक ही दिवस नहीं है, माँ के सभी दिवस हैं और माँ सबके लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. तो जस्ट टेक केयर ऑफ योर पेरेंट्स, योर फैमिली वेरी वेल, and take care of your mother, and just tell him that how much we love our parents and our mother especially. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. And these are the wishes from ICSI to everyone all across the globe. And we believe why we are presenting all these things, why we are bringing all these webinars is because we want that service industry should play a major role and contribute towards Atmanirbhar Bharat in all its aspects, all the combination and strands and spokes of service industry should collectively contribute towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. And the series that we are in with Dr. Priya VISWESWARAN ji and other webinars also that we are conducting from Monday to Sunday on different aspects of making education relevant, whether on health, whether on education, whether on empowerment, whether on human library, and whether on what not, nutrition, wellness, everything, media, entertainment, career, motivation, inspiration. You will got lot many variety of webinars on our ICSI YouTube channel. You can go to this channel, you can subscribe this channel, you can like, share, comment on this channel, and whatever webinars you want to see, you want to hear from, and you want to share, you can. And we have completed with your love, with your support and your affection till date 1500 and 65 webinar, 1565 webinar we have completed. And thanks to all of you, your love, your support, and also thanks to team ICSI and our resource person. And one such resource person is today with me, Dr. Priya VISWESWARAN ji. And the way she is telling everything, the minutest possible development, creativity, innovation in education for educators, for teachers, and for youth. With that, I can say that whatever we are saying, always, every day, that we are telling you that whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. आप जो चाहते हैं, जैसा चाहते हैं, हो के रहता है. कोई ना कोई माध्यम बन जाता है. एक बार पॉजिटिव होके तो देखिए, सब कुछ होता है. और ऐसे ही एक पॉजिटिव पर्सनालिटी को मैं आप सबके सामने पेश करना चाहूंगी. I'm happy to bring one such positive personality in front of all of you. She is telling these days to us about neuro coaching, cellular health coaching, functional medicine coaching, reverse age coaching, dietary metabolic coaching in a very simple yet effective and a very interesting way. Matlab, for me, if you ask from me, in reality, I want that such webinars will continue to long time, because whatever information ma'am is passing to us, that is very valuable. And every week, at least 1 or 2 slides, she shows such a beautiful manner that there are a lot many things to just learn from that one particular slide. And she is showing us so many slides every week. So we are grateful to ma'am, and put your hands together to with me to welcome Dr. Priya VISWESWARAN ji from Houston, Texas, USA, Director, Immortality Institute. Ma'am, a very good morning to you, and namaste from India. And being a mother figure, for me also, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to you too.
How sweet, Chitraji, you have touched and warmed my heart. Good evening to you. Happy Mother's Day to you. And I deeply appreciate your love and kindness and your commitment to our mentor, Major General Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji, all our great Indian forefathers and fathers, and our mothers, our wonderful unsung heroes of our lives, our wonderful mothers. Happy Mother's Day to my own mother, Srimati Lalita VISWESWARAN, who I can say that without her love, friendship, her brilliance, her emotional intelligence, her knowledge, her devotion and dedication to Mother India and to the society and country wherever she lives here, including the United States, without her godliness, we would not be here today as a family. I want to thank and salute and respect Mother India for being our mother always and forever. I want to salute and respect and offer my namaskarams to all the mothers of India today. You are what makes India great. You and our fathers, you care for our young ones. You give birth to them, you raise them like Chhatrapati Shivaji's mother did, like so many mothers, Kausalya did, like so many great mothers of our heritage and culture of Mother India did. And all of us, all over the world, salute you today. And we thank you for your sacrifices, for your service to your family, for your dedication and devotion to your children and to the well-being and the goodness of the family, for your adherence to righteousness, for your setting the example of what righteousness is, what righteous behavior is, and how children must conduct themselves and treat themselves and others better than their own selves. You set the bar very, very high. It is your children who are saluting you today. We salute all of you today. We salute Mother India, who is all of our mother. And thank you very much, Chitraji, for this wonderful and great opportunity to connect with our Indian brothers and sisters, for all of us here. Thank you so much. Very, very grateful to you, Chitraji, and extremely and eternally grateful to our mentor, Major General Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji, without whose vision such a thing would not even be possible. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks to you.
Thank you. So I want to just to summarize in 2 slides, and the first slide is a summary of something we have all gone over a few times. We were talking about how coaching is a good business and financial model for adding to people who have already teachers training and education of 5 years after high school. So this is a serious commitment people have made. And Chitraji, you have to tell me how to do the slideshow from this slide.
Yes, ma'am.
Current slide, right?
Correct. Hanji.
This is better?
Yes, ma'am. It is good.
Okay. Okay. So what we were saying all these weeks was that coaching is a wonderful model for making the education of teachers become relevant in today's society. We were talking about the possibility of creating. We talked specifically about how we could create 50 lakh coaching jobs. There is a huge projection for coaching. They're saying it's $300 billion coaching market. Okay. But when we take into account 200 life skills that everybody has to learn as we march into the future, some 14 subjects at least that we have to learn by the undergraduate level in order to thrive and to survive and do well in jobs, saying no is not an option. We have to upskill ourselves. We have to become those human beings that can accomplish that, isn't it? We have to learn those 200 life skills, those 40 subjects to get those good jobs. Why would we say no to that? There will also be a protection as this automation and all of this machine thing takes over human jobs. There will be a protection of basic income. There will be a protection of free education. All this will become made available to the population of the world by governments. All this is coming in the near future. It is not in the very far future. So what I'm saying is, why not take advantage? Why not avail ourselves of knowledge that is already there, which is constantly being updated, upgraded, and upskill ourselves and make ourselves the teachers for the students of the future, isn't it? Why can't we? Why not do that, right? So how do we do that? Taking one coaching module, and I'm talking as if I'm the teacher who's had 5 years and now I'm ready for a job. I take 3 months, I invest 3 months, 2 hours per week, and we study the subject matter of the coaching topic for 8 weeks. But for the first 2 weeks, it'll be massive online open classes where we will understand what the coach does, how the coach structures their interaction with their pupils, their mentees, yes, and what is the difference between a coach and a teacher, and why this is important, why it is important to be a coach and a teacher. Because what we are finding, data is coming, that the more the children are empowered to choose what they want to learn, and the better that knowledge is presented to them, the quicker they learn, the better they perform in those assessments, and the faster they go, and the more differentiated they are. So what that means is more unique, more irreplaceable, more important in whichever organization in which they are hired, right? That's what we want for the student of the future. We want them to have a job for as long as they want it. We want them to make as much money as they want. The more specialized they are, the more unique they are, the better those chances are, isn't it? So then last 2 weeks, we will have coaching practice with the peers. We will have all of the teachers evaluate the program, and then a minor test of the concepts where pretty much it is just to understand whether you get the most important essence of coaching and the essence of this course. And even homemakers can make 20,000 rupees every 6 weeks. And people who are working on this full time can, a starting salary, they can make 33,000 rupees a month. And from there, it will only go up, not come down. It is only, if it's 33,000 rupees a month for, let's say you build up to that in 6 to 8 months. After that, it's only going to be, you have seen tuition teachers and things like that in India, how much money they can make. It is very possible for coaches to make that kind of money. Then the classroom is a simulated question and answer type situation, and we will give continuing education. We will give you case histories of how this coaching can improve a person's life, and tricky where you encounter a situation that is challenging, and we will support you for the duration, at least a year, and we will give you continuing ongoing education to support you forever. So there is also a career path. The long-term growth in this career can result in jobs abroad within a year or two of starting a coaching practice, and income and clout can grow locally more. You may become the best coach in this topic in your neighborhood. Then it might be in the part of your city. Then it might be in your city. Then it might be in your state. Then you might become the trainer for all the coaches in this topic in your state. Then it might be the region. Then you will be exchanging coaching points with regional people who are at the top in their different regions. So there is a very clear career growth path as well as a coach. Okay, so what are we recommending for this particular part of this, what we have covered so far? We are recommending that we incorporate coach education in India's first digital university. This was mentioned to us by Major General Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji, and we completely agree with this idea that coach education can be incorporated in India's first digital university. We are recommending that we can create such short, succinct, comprehensive coach training programs. These will be 3 months of training. They will prepare a teacher who will now have a coach certificate, which will allow them to open a consulting practice, either through the school or on their own. Within a year, they will quickly develop confidence and knowledge in the field, and we will back them up when they run into complex problems or any questions they have. And within a year, they will get that confidence. It may be more than a year, depending on how much comfort level they need and confidence. Whatever it takes to give them the fullest confidence, their own experience will inform their confidence levels as well. But we will back them up fully. We back them up fully so that their questions will be answered, whatever doubts they have, or if they encounter a difficult situation or a tricky situation, or they're wanting more effective behavioral modification coaching techniques for their students, we will back them up not only with knowledge, we will back them up with continuing education in their particular field. And then we will institute a system of professional standards that everybody needs to maintain and continue with their education. We will not repeat any of the mistakes of the West, but we will incorporate the best practices of the West and the East in this professional standards and educational maintenance. When I say professional standards, it's mainly about ethics. It's about professionalism. The soft coaching topics, those are actually the hard ones. But what you call soft skills, the 6 months additional training you're already giving these teachers, those are the things that we would want people to maintain. Like if you take the money, you should deliver the class, those kinds of things, right? Basic things. Then when they complete a year, we will help them with their International Coaching Federation coach certification. Now they will get an official career certification as a coach through the International Coaching Federation. We will give the letters after we verify that, yes, this person has completed 200 hours of coaching. So if it is 10 students and you've done 20 hours, that's 200 hours of coaching. Okay. So we will verify those things. Then we will give them mentoring. So one second, Chitraji, we will give them mentoring for their career path. So let us say 1 year goes by, 2 years go by, and now they're like, you know what, I've done this, I want more, more excitement, more challenge, more fun, more knowledge. Yes, we will give you mentoring for career path, and we can direct you. You know what, you're really good at this. Let's also suggest you that you can get coaching credentials in this other area, or this person wants to take coaching credentials to start with in 3 different areas. We will encourage that. Yes. And what that will make them is a one-of-a-kind coach with unbelievable, unmatchable expertise globally. It will be only one of that person globally. Let us say they do 2 or 3 coaching certifications. There won't be anybody else like them on the planet. So we will help them become unique, uniquely qualified, uniquely experienced, unique expertise teachers, one of a kind on the planet. Is this all sounding good so far?
This is sounding wonderful and perfect. And this will definitely help in gaining what we are want to. But here I want to ask one question from you, ma'am, if you allow.
Yes.
Nowadays I'm hearing this word called coaching a lot, because earlier we used to say training, then it becomes coaching, and we also hear about mentoring. If you can tell us the difference about all these 3, that will be good and clear the doubt.
Sure. So there is a difference between teaching, training, mentoring, and coaching. And what this is, I mean, I can try to find some close words in Indian languages, because, we have very beautifully defined concepts for all these, and we had them long before these words came up in English language. So it's okay. But, a mentor is like a guru, like a spiritual mentor, somebody you go to for. Okay, so let us say you go to a mentor and you say, look, I want a career in coaching. I have these 3 certifications. I already have 3 years of experience, and I'm still feeling sort of restless, like my skills are not being used. I don't know what the problem is, right? The mentor is a guru, the one who sheds the light on that which is invisible to you. It is invisible to the person about themselves. It's all on the inside. But the guru is the one that says, your restlessness means that you're not being challenged enough. Based on my conversation with you, I can understand you want more challenges. And the kind of challenges you want are, with mentally disabled people. You want to coach mentally ill people to be healthy physically, in the hopes that they're. So this kind of shedding of the light on the subject, which is deep in the heart of the student, that is what a mentor does. A coach, a teacher is actually somebody that says, okay, do you know what? This is the latest and the greatest with regard to human health. This is what aging is. And this is what I just want you to know. I'm going to test you on whether you understood what I said, based on what I have studied, what I have learned, what I have done research on, based on what other people have published. Let us say there are 2 million papers on aging in just 1 year, which is actually happening. These kinds of numbers, this is the kind of advancing of knowledge. It's going at a very, very rapid rate. So I can share with you that of these 2 million papers, only 2,000 made the cut in my eyes based on these criteria. And of the 2,000 I studied, only 20 are worth sharing with you. And here is the summary of those 20. Now I'm going to test and see whether you understood what I said. Isn't it? That's what a teacher does. Okay. Now training is slightly different, where training we say, I'm going to teach you how to do this strength and conditioning exercise. 1 second. This is a dumbbell. You have to lift this dumbbell like this. You cannot put it down. When you put it down, when you stretch your arms at the elbows fully, do not stop. Bring it back up. This is like yoga class. Same thing. This is training where the teacher does and shows, and then the student repeats in order to gain competence. This is training.
Right.
Coaching is a little different. Coaching is a combination of teaching and training, but it's also where you encourage the student to put their insight and their views and their worldview into the understanding of the training and teaching you're providing them. I mean, I'm talking about what we do will be teaching of the coaches, but what will the coaches do? They will tell the student, okay, what do you know about health? They will ask them, you have diabetes, okay. So what is the problem? What do you understand about diabetes? Well, the sugar is running high. I'm either not making enough insulin or my cells are resistant to insulin. Okay, well, how do you think you can manage that? So the coach brings out the knowledge that is there in a student in a way that it makes a story in their mind. And now every time they go to take a certain action, like let's say they're going to make the next meal. Oh, now I remember the coach said, emphasized to me again and taught me some new things about diabetes, but also emphasized what I already know. And now rather than choose this gajar ka, okay, gajar ka halwa not bad, okay, rather than choose this wheat halwa, I will choose, a salad today. And I have little time, I'm not starving, I can cut these vegetables up, it'll be a good salad. And that will keep my sugars like this. So effecting the behavioral change by getting what is on the inside of the student to manifest out. Believe me, we all have infinite and complete knowledge. We just don't have it at a conscious level. The coach pulls that out and is able to get that student to string together those pearls in that beautiful story necklace and put it on. So effecting behavioral change by a combination of teaching, training, and of what is inside of the student, and matching the values and lifting their actions to match their values.
Lifting the actions to match the values.
Yes.
Right.
If you don't want to be a burden on your children, then how should you be matching your, handling your food?
Right.
So you have values, you know who you are as a human being, helping you understand who you are, what you don't want and what you want. You know very clearly, as my mentor, Dr. John Asaraf says, you know very clearly what you don't want. I don't want to be sick on a ventilator in an ICU. I don't want to die in a hospital. I don't want my children to be leaving their jobs and their children and running around to take care of me. That is the value. Then what are the actions that match the value? Okay, it is not a straight line. Sometimes it is little up and sometimes down more, little up, little down, little up, little down. It's like a zigzag. And the coach is the one that is constantly providing you the support, no matter what your performance is. It's okay. A little setback is normal. It is expected. Now, next. Okay, what do we do next? So that is part of the neuro coach training. Right. Is how to become your own coach. So, how to deal with the setbacks. Yes.
See, sorry, but another question came into my mind that
yes.
These kind of support is not given by the trainer also?
Yes, it is given by the coach. So the coach gives teaching, they give training, right, and then they give the neuro. In fact, I would make the neuro coaching a mandatory basic for all coaches. The 3 months of neuro coaching, all the coaches should take. That's what I would do if I'm setting the policy for training of coaches, because this is the tools with which they can first equip themselves to get their behavior to that high level. You know, we talked about resilience, we talked about constant and never-ending improvement. We talked about curiosity, wonder, how they need to keep that high standard themselves. Oh, this is a new student. What is the beautiful thing they're bringing to me? Beautiful learning and challenge they're bringing to me today. Oh, this person was raised in so and so way. So this is the huge strengths they have. They come from this very maybe poor and socioeconomically not supported background. But you know what? Because of that, their mind is wide open. They're free to learn anything and everything. I can give them anything and they will learn it. So the coach is also growing, isn't it? And the coach is also the person who is able to elicit the values and the belief systems, what needs correction in the belief system so that the actions can be implemented.
Right.
If you think I'm going to die of diabetes, diabetes is a permanent disease that cannot be reversed, then even if there's a coach and you have a teacher and you have a doctor, you have a nurse, you have hospitals, you're going to die. If you have that belief, then the belief is what is going to kill you, not the disease.
Right.
So the coach will change that belief. They will help you change your belief. They cannot do that work for you. That work has to be done by you, but they will show you what needs to be done.
Right. So understood, ma'am. Thank you.
Absolutely. There's so much material here. You cannot, 300 billion. I'm thinking, where did you miss the other few zeros? It's more like a $30 trillion industry. Trillion is million, million. 30 followed by million, that is 6 zeros, followed by another 6 zeros. That is the size of this industry. You cannot go wrong by being in this industry. Cannot. We will not only support you with education and knowledge, we will also do your marketing and sales for you. So you don't have to get into the business side of things if you don't want to, which we don't recommend that you get into the business side of things initially. Initially, you acquire your expertise, your technical knowledge, isn't it?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay. So we talked last time about, 1 second, I'm trying to advance the slides. Got stuck a little bit, huh?
No worries, ma'am. You can stop share and then reshare.
Sorry?
You can stop share and then reshare, ma'am.
Okay, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Chitraji. Sorry about that.
No, my pleasure.
Stuck a little bit. Oh, it won't let me do that for some reason. Okay, hold on. Oh, there we go. Now it works. So there are many theories of aging. And we talked last time about the program theory of aging. We talked about the aging as a result of a sequential sort of switching off of certain genes. And senescence is the time beyond which age-associated deficits start to be manifested at the cell level and organ level, organ system level. There is an endocrine theory where biological clocks act through hormones to control the pace of aging. And there is an immunological theory that the immune system is programmed to come down with time, and that leads to an increased vulnerability to infectious diseases and aging and death. So I'm also going to intersperse here between the individual theories for aging and what we can do about those and what we will coach this age reversal coaches to do. There are things that the community and the country and society need to do. Right, so this is homage to Mother India, and what we talked last time was about the blue zones and how these are 5 places on the planet where people are regularly living to the age of 100 or more, and they have certain common social practices, physical health related practices, and spirituality type practices, and how they're thriving in the thriving and living extremely long and healthy and productive, useful to society lives. So this is the part which the community has to do and the country we have to build. So these coaches, part of their continuing education, we will also impart to them how they can build the community and the society around them, and how that will raise the ability of everybody to be more compliant with health, with wellness, with reversing aging, with their being on top of their metabolism. Yes. So the phase one of this blue zone community involvement and development is understanding what is this community and who is available, who has the drive to do this, right? What are the resources that are available? Who, is willing to invest in the development of this community? What are they willing to invest? What is the special needs of this community? If it is on a hill, it has some special plus factors and some special minus factors. If it is on a farm, like on a field, then there are some pluses and minuses. Where the community is situated, is it close to a city? Is it close to a town? Is it rural area? Right? Those are the, you make an assessment. The coach will make an assessment. We can train them to do this. It won't be part of the initial 3 months training. But when they come back for continuing education, after the first year and they get their experience, their expertise, their International Coaching Federation certification, if they want to be part of their community and improve their community on a voluntary basis, this will also lead indirectly to their name becoming known and more coaching clients coming to them. But it's also a great feeling. It's a diversification of what you do in a day. It's exciting, it's interesting, it's different, it's complementary to what you're doing as a coach. It's a win-win in all ways. You learn about your community, what some things are that can be improved and so on. So again, I'm going to do this aging and how to develop the community as a blue zone kind of alternately, because the theories of aging are kind of dry. And we will teach them exactly how to address each of these theories of aging in their patients, if that makes sense. Yes. So yeah. We have the wear and tear theory, where vital parts in the cells and tissues wear out, resulting in aging. We will teach them aging is not spelled with an E in the US. It is spelled A-G-I-N-G. So please note the spelling there. We will teach them how to reverse the wear and tear as part of the aging reversal coaching training. Then there is a rate of living theory that supports the theory that the greater an organism's rate of basal oxygen and metabolism is, the shorter its lifespan is. So that's actually not true. There are ways to increase the organism's oxygen metabolism and lifespan together, and we'll talk briefly about that as well. But we'll also talk about when you're not using that increased level, how to be at a very low level. So there is, when you do a certain thing at a very high intensity for a short time, that will automatically lower all of this oxygen consumption and metabolism during the rest of the time. So we will talk about that and how to train somebody in that. Then there is something called cross-linking theory, and cross-link proteins that accumulate that are not subsequently broken down. Even the cells, they're not broken down, even though they become senescent or aging, they are not toned down. This is called autophagy. Autophagy is the ability of the body to eat up its own old cells and make new cells. Okay, it's kind of a rough, simple definition of it. But when you're not using up the proteins that are already cross-linked because of the presence of sugars and whatnot, how that results in aging, but also how to reverse it. Then we have free radicals, which proposes that superoxide and other free radicals cause damage to the macromolecular components of the cell. And this gives rise to accumulated damage. Eventually, the cells lose all their energy generating capacity. And then when the cells die out, enough cells die out, then the organs also stop functioning, right? And we will show you how to, first of all, prevent the generation of free radicals as much as possible. And secondly, neutralize them. Back to this blue zone thing and the community development, right? The phase 2 of this blue development at a community level will be the partnership and pathway. So first you'll assess what are all the strengths of the community, what are all the weaknesses of the community, what are all the needs and the desires of the community, what are all the pain and the pressure points of the community. Let's say you're a neuro coach, and this, people, this is a rural community. People don't have financial security. Because they cannot They don't know where the next meal is coming from. They're not able to spend time learning. Whatever it is, whatever the challenges of that community, that was the assessment part. Now you will figure out how to partner, with whom to partner, and how to alleviate some of the particular struggles of that community, right? Of course, in Western society, they have, they'll say we create lasting impact by changing the environment in which people live, work, and play. Yes, it is possible anywhere. And from here, they are going into different countries in Africa and all that, building schools, they're building playgrounds, basketball court, those kinds of things where the children can come and play and sort of be, relax and have a safe place to go play and interact outside of a school environment. Creating a healthier environment is the foundation to reducing healthcare costs, increasing workforce productivity, and changing the culture of well-being in the community. So let us say you put a field, you say, okay, we're going to have a small kabaddi Maidan here, and it's going to be green grass. Somebody is willing to donate the land, and somebody is willing to keep the grass and maintain it. And somebody will take care of the trash, pick up the litter, and somebody will keep the security, make sure nobody is putting litter or graffiti or something. And somebody wants to advertise for that, they will pay the money. So putting together that pathway and the partnership to create these safe little zones in communities where people can come and take a walk, or the children can come and play kabaddi, something, those kinds of things, the partnerships and the pathways. Changing the environment begins with food policy and built environment policy work, and phase 2 begins that foundational work right away. So then there's food and environment policy. Here in the US, in public schools, all children get food. All children are served food so that they can come to school, because there is so much of poverty in America that a lot of times the parents will not feed the children if they're not fed in schools. It's a fact. So nobody talks about it. We don't like to lead with that, but the children are fed because the government feeds. So that's a good thing. So that is the direction in which it should all go also.
That happens in India as well, ma'am, in Anganwadi.
Yeah, concept. Lovely. That's exactly, that is a caring government, and I salute Mother India for doing that. It's amazing. And all I'm saying is it is happening here too. So everywhere where people cannot help themselves, when we help them, that is a beautiful thing to do. It's a good and a great thing to do. Yes. So there are many more theories of this aging. We will actually address how to minimize the turning on of these genes that cause maladaptive responses, and xenomorphic aging, for example, or there are ways to combat and counteract these different frameworks for aging. Then coming back to phase 3 of the blue zone development is building a culture of health in the community. Yes. Right. So this is a concept called life radius model. So this is a perfect storm of change with a full focus on people, places, and policy. So when we impact our man-made surroundings and systems and social networks, so instead of meeting for coffee or for lunch, say, okay, let's meet at the park for a walk to your friend. Or you say, okay, I'm going to get a dog. So because the dog is there, I have to take the dog out for a walk every day. Otherwise, the poor animal will just die of boredom and sickness in the house. Or you say, okay, if you want to talk to your wife, or your wife wants to talk to the husband about the children or the household or what plans we're going to make, instead of sitting down and doing it with paper at home, let us take a walk and we enter our conversation into the cell phone, like OneNote or something on the cell phone. And that is where people can afford that. But at least take a walk instead of sitting down and discussing. Or you want to talk to your child about something and you want to give them some, dreams and hopes. I know it doesn't matter if you got, what are the 35th rank out of 60. Next time you can always do better. I'm here to support you. I'm here to give you whatever you need. Ask me any questions where I don't know. I will find you the people who can help you. or I will find you somebody who can find somebody who can help you. So I will talk to my friends. I will do what I can, right?
Right.
Or why don't you talk to the person who has the first rank or the second rank or the one who's in the top 5 ranks, who's the nicest one, who doesn't mind sharing. Go talk to them and ask them how to study well. So the parents are the resources, but they can do this over a walk rather than sit at home and yell at the child. You didn't do this, look at your, no, doesn't work, right? We have to do the things that work, right? So when we do that, then people live longer, better lives, and communities enjoy lower healthcare costs, improved productivity, and boost the national recognition as a great place to live, work, learn, and play. So for Mother India to be known again, this was the true thing about Mother India until 200 years ago. But to be known again as a great place to live, work, learn, and play, we have to get the level of the community culture of well-being higher. Here is a theory which says that when the relationships between a person and other members of society are severed, and those that are remaining are altered in quality, this is called the disengagement theory. And older people are less involved, and then in America there is evidence that society forces withdrawal on older people whether or not they want it. It's a terrible culture here. It's ageism. It's called ageism, and it is not at all good for the health of the older people. It is not at all right, and so on. So this is the first formal theory that attempted to explain the process of aging. Can you believe that? This is the first formal theory. Disengagement from the rest of society. When a person starts feeling useless, then they start growing older sooner. Of course, people say it does not consider a large number of older people who do not withdraw, who are still working and supporting their useless, maybe children who are in their 40s, 30s, 20s. It's true, but useless or not, that is a topic for another day. But the point here is there are plenty of people who are engaged, who are contributing. And they are not disengaged, but they are still aging. That's the point. Then coming back to the blue zone, right? This life radius, right? This is the area close to our home where we spend 90% of our lives. The closest grocery store where we go and buy groceries, whatever, the closest, whatever it might be. Some people may go to health clubs, some people may go to temple, some people may go to church, some people may go to mosque. Some people may go to the closest tea shop where they go get tea and snacks. It's that whole, some people, their school, their office, that where we spend 90% of our time, that is called our life radius. And that includes school and workplaces, streets, sidewalks, parks, trails, town centers, restaurants and grocery stores. And this has a built improvement. So this is a bigger, the next level, right? So first we start with a small, like a square where the children can play kabaddi, the adults can take a walk. We preserve that land, we protect it. And I actually met a gentleman in Bombay, Maharashtra. He lives there. His family just gave away, I don't know, huge amount of acres, 200 acres or something, to an American company to put up their headquarters there. They didn't even ask for money back. I talked to this gentleman. This was 100 years ago. They just gave the land. So there are people like that. And they will be willing to do it for the greater community good. And if they're willing to sell it, then maybe somebody, the municipality, will be willing to buy it for the government and make it a government area. So this is something that somebody has to take the initiative and leadership. Nobody has to give us the mantle to be the leader in our society. If we're not trampling on anybody else and nobody cares if we do something about it, why not take on this leadership role and make our community as well a healthier and happier and better place to live in and work in, right? So it also means municipal policies, ordinances, rules and regulations. You can, another way to improve community is to put garbage cans. A lot of volunteer work is going on in India. I've seen with my own eyes. They have a garbage collection day on the ocean. They'll come and pick up all the plastic and all the trash that people left. Or they will put trash cans and, have and clean out the trash cans every week, a few days or so. So this kind of activity is also great. I mean, yes, at the government level also they're being done. And the same thing, wherever we work, we put a trash can if it's not there. If we are at home, we put a trash can if it's not there. If the grocery store doesn't have a trash can, we tell them, why don't you put a trash can and clean out the trash? And we start a volunteer trash collection service. You know, somebody comes with maybe a car or a truck and they pick up 3 homes and then they take it to one place for 1 week. Then the next family does it for another week. It is a little bit of money and time, but it's once a week, little bit of petrol, and the trash goes to the place where it needs to go rather than getting dumped in the street or outside the house. So little extra things can make such a big difference to the quality of life. Forming, and I have seen this with my own eyes. I know it's possible. I know. I remember in India, in Madras, in December, I think, 2015, there was a huge flood for the first time in Chennai. For 30 days, the water remained at 3 or 4 feet height. 30 days after the storm passed. And there were people on huge WhatsApp groups. I have a little boat. I have a little, thing that can go on the water. And this person saying, I have 40 people in my house. Can you bring me some rice? Okay, brother, I will bring you the rice. Okay, sister, can you accommodate 2 people in your house and who can keep them? Yeah, I can do it. I can take more than 2 people also, brother. Like this kind of helping each other and social networks and keeping, growing those things where people are helpful, they're caring of each other, they love human beings, they love life, they want to do something. And that wanting to do for other people, it comes from a place of gratitude in our heart for what God has given us. And God has given us a lot. I know that about myself. And I feel very lucky and privileged to be in this position. And so there are so many people, 60% of the people cannot read or write, of 1 billion children, 670 million children cannot even read or write, 67 crore children cannot read, write, or do basic mathematics. How privileged am I compared to that? Not even comparison. In general also, I would say. So there are a lot of things that we can do. Maybe there's a person who's an engineer, knows physics, mathematics very, very well. And they say, okay, there are 2 children here, a person who's working in my house, her children are coming into high school and they don't understand anything about health or mathematics. Let me teach them at least some basic English, basic mathematics, so they won't get cheated or taken advantage of when they graduate from school. That is a beautiful thing. Small things at an individual level adds up to a huge improvement in the society and country. It does not have to be grand or big things. Whatever is comfortable, whatever you want to and are able to give, that you're able to commit to, that this is my way of a prayer to God and thank you and gratitude for everything God has given me, only more will come to you, not less. More money, more recognition, more fame, more fortune, more abundance in every area, not less. When we do that little thing, and that little thing is what will raise the country also in a big way. So designing a home.
Ma'am, if you allow a question here.
Sure.
All these things should start with your neighborhood first and then to other things.
Yes.
So
yes.
I just want to ask you one thing, ma'am. This is something wonderful, and while listening from you and reading these points, I'm feeling like great, positive insight is coming in. When it actually happens, then the result will be great. But the question is that everybody of us, they are involved in our home affairs only. We have so many stresses in our house, and we have to clear all these things. So everybody is indulged in their home activity itself. So where is the time to think about the community and about the brotherhood and about the everything? So how to do that? How to initiate that?
Very good. It all starts with a seed. And the seed is the thought of what is it that I can do every day or every week that is not going to take me a lot of time. That's not going to cost me a lot of effort. That is a small thing that is improving my community or my neighborhood or the general, any area outside of my home, outside of my children and my husband or wife and my life? What is a small thing that I can do? So the thought is the seed. Then when you start thinking that thought, then that will give you, maybe, the boss doesn't have a garbage can in his office.
Right.
Small thing. Maybe, there are, your neighbor has two children that are going to the same school, and your children and their children are out at the same time, and their children and your children are in the same activities, whatever it is. Maybe you can carpool.
Right.
Smallest thing that you can do that is not doing too much out of your way to start with, maybe, but you can do it regularly and you can commit to it for a period of time consistently. Just pick that thing. Maybe you're going to the grocery store and you like your neighbor is a very friendly person and they shop at the same grocery store. Do you want anything? Can I get you something? Start by just offering it as a service without any expectation of great things for society. Just one kind thing. Or let's say you find out the neighbor has been sick. You say, can I get you some soup, some vegetable soup? I'm making some soup tonight for dinner. I'll have extra. Can I bring it for the children or for you? Or can I bring you some curry or some roti, chapati? Just a small neighborly thought, something that builds a bond. Then from that, then you go to the next level. Maybe now 2 of you are in an apartment building that has 16 families. Right. Now they're good friends with you. And you don't like how the trash is being thrown just outside. You say, what can we do? Hey, friend, what do you think we can do about this? Or there's no place for the children to play. Then you say, what do you think we can do about this trash situation? It's terrible. It really makes our apartment building look bad. Or the outside of the building is not being painted and it looks terrible. Right. You think we can take a collection from everybody? Can we try? You do half and I do, some people, I know some people. Let's ask everybody for 500 rupees just one time. And let's find somebody. We'll give the accounting. We'll just show them that we're doing this good thing for the building. They'll be happy to contribute. Then we'll find the painter and we'll get the job done. No extra within the budget, whatever we're able to collect. So this kind of small thing, that's not a small thing. That is not at all a small thing. But what I'm saying is it starts small and then the next level, it becomes bigger. So just being there for neighbors' children. If mother's not home from work and children are home, I don't mind keeping the child home here until you're back from work. Or some days when it's an emergency, I don't mind keeping a child. Or whatever it is, small things like that. You just take what you can do and show the leadership. Then they will follow. Then you do the next higher thing, then they will do. So you actually are competing to become better and better human beings. What is wrong with that? Who loses with that? Nobody. And that's how the society also comes up. Right?
Right, ma'am. Absolutely right.
Small things. It doesn't have to be fancy things. Maybe you went to the grocery store. Maybe you got some jasmine, what do they call it? Gajra, right?
Ji.
I used to wear all the time. And maybe you tell your neighbor, okay, I brought you a small piece. I was thinking about you when I was there. Smallest thing. Just little kind. That person will go and do it to somebody else. That the whole society will come up with those little, they call, small acts of kindness. Here, many people, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are saying something here, many people.
No, I was just saying that these are the things that lift the society and the country up, is doing little bit small thing considerately with affection and caring in the heart for just the neighbor.
Bringing EQ along with IQ.
Yes. And when you do it, who gets the most benefit?
Ourselves.
Yes, because it makes us feel really good about ourselves on the inside. It makes us feel good, not about ourselves. It makes us feel good that the world is good. People are good. I love being a caring person. It makes me so happy to take care of somebody for no reason. I'm not getting anything out of this, but I'm so happy doing it.
Ji. I hope that this seed goes into the mind of people from today itself, and our Mother Earth become blue zone everywhere, community
Yes.
development everywhere.
Yes, I hope so too. I can tell you some incredible people I have met and I have come to know here. There is a woman, she had 3 daughters. She was living in South America, Peru or somewhere. She's an engineer, but she became a mom and she had 3 daughters.
Okay.
And I think when she was either pregnant or had just had the third child, her husband left her, took the house, all the money, everything. She didn't have anything. She had to come out into an apartment. And then she even though she had an engineering degree, she didn't have a job and she had 3 children to feed. He's moved on with somebody. I don't know what had happened. The South American lady.
Okay.
She decided she was going to start making cupcakes in her house. So she got, the atta, whatever, flour and sugar, and she started making cupcakes and selling them in her apartment building.
Right.
And people bought because they didn't have time to bake. They didn't, that's another thing that we can do is we can bake a cake and say, okay, it's like 1 rupee, 2 rupee a pieces. I'm just donating my time and the materials, but all the money you donate, we will use to clean the lift shaft in the building. Every week I will bake a cake and leave. If you want, you can drop 1 or 2 rupees, 5 rupees into this jar. And all that money, put an account for this week we collected 50 rupees. When we collect 1,000, we can clean the lift shaft. That's a good thing for the building. Small thing.
Ji.
And that also builds your self-confidence because now you can get things done. But people have some respect for that. People want to take part in that. 1 or 2 or 5 rupees for a piece of cake if they're hungry, as they're coming home, whatever, they may not mind it, So everybody gets something out of it. So this woman, she started selling the cupcakes. Then she got enough money to pay her rent, and she took some training, and then she became a internationally renowned healer. So she can do remote healing, she can cure diseases without touching a person and all that. So she started doing all that. Then she started making $500,000, $1 million a year from doing that work.
Okay.
Of course, a little bit of a gift, but also training and practice, understanding and meeting the right people and learning from the right people. Then she decided, I'm going to take on global warming. I'm going to take on climate change and global warming. We're talking all in a matter of less than 5 years.
Okay.
So she went to these forests where they had these trees and they were dropping these pods. She collected all those pods, and the pods have the seeds of those trees. Okay. And she'd dry out the pods and she would plant them inside the house. She bought her own house, she got remarried, children are all grown and everything. All this is happening simultaneously. Okay. Then they get the pods, they collect the seed from the pods, then they put it in small pots. And when the sapling comes out this size in a few weeks time, then they have 100,000 like that, 1 lakh seedlings.
Okay.
And she goes back to the forest and she's planted millions of trees, and these trees are sucking out the carbon dioxide from the air, and she has contributed her karmic part for reduction of global warming. Millions of trees she has planted. Every year she plants 1 million trees. She collects the pods, they're all for free lying on the earth, seeds. She collects them, brings them home. She invests in the pots and the soil.
Wow.
That is her money she's putting into it. Now, because she's making that money, she puts the seed, one seed in each pot. When it comes up to about 2, 3, 4, 5 inches, one weekend they go and they plant, they get all volunteers. Maybe they go more than 1 weekend, but they have 1 lakh small saplings and they have open land there. And she goes and just plants. So anything we can take on and do.
Yes, ma'am.
We can take anything on. We can decide to buy a sapling from a nursery and have a small balcony garden with trees and vegetables that we're growing on the balcony garden. There are people in Mumbai and all doing this. They have fresh green leafy vegetables growing, small balcony, like, maybe 10 feet by 12 feet balcony. They have, I actually saw a picture. I wanted to share that as well. She has everything from cucumbers to brinjal to tomatoes. All this is growing on plants and vines in the balcony. And that is blocking the sun a little bit also, which is, for them, it's a good thing. And they're collecting fresh vegetables and cooking and eating right there. Sometimes they may give it to their neighbors too. I know a lady, she was my sister's classmate in school. Her father was a world famous neurologist in India. And she's a lawyer. Her name is Aparna Srinivasan. And she now lives in New Delhi with her husband, who's a world famous lawyer in intellectual property law. His company has 50 or 100 lawyers. They're very, very brilliant people. This girl decided to put a farm in a place near Delhi. It's a rural area. You have to drive. It's like, some 1 hour drive from Delhi. She has a small farm, 13 acres or something. Her produce is just incredible. It's all organic. She's taking the cow dung of all the native cows. They're not Jersey cows. They're small and they may not all be milking cows. But the dung she has made into everything from diyas to for people who cook with that. She has made incense sticks, agarbatti sticks with that. She's made all kinds of products. She's packaging and she's selling, and it's all organic. She has studied this produce thing very well. And she, on the one side, she has the dung from the cows, and she's using that to make the organic farm. And this is one of the, I've not seen such huge vegetables anywhere on the planet, let alone in India. The vegetables are smaller because they're not using, all the fertilizers that they're using here. But in India, I've seen huge, big brinjal, all kinds of vegetables she's growing over there, just using the dung from native cows that don't give milk.
Right.
And every week, the students are coming from schools and colleges. They're spending time. She gives them small projects. Why don't you try to understand how to remove plastic from water? Small little projects she's giving them. And they're studying it. They're IIT students. They go study, they do the full research, they come up with the prototype of the machine, then they're trying it out, and then they're publishing a paper with her ideas.
This is in which part of India, ma'am?
New Delhi.
New Delhi.
New Delhi.
Right.
I can share with you her Facebook page. She's a very busy lady, and she is employed, I think, 50 people. It's a small farm, 13 acres or something, nothing big.
Right.
And now it's grown to 50 acres. She's employing 50, 100 people there. They do all the work, but her farm is creating so much of produce. She's sharing what all she's doing with everybody, and she's doing very well. And it's such a small idea of just, doing this small thing really well.
Yes, ma'am.
Understanding it and putting your heart and your life and your soul into it.
Fortunate are the people who got this seed into their mind, and fortunate are their surroundings also.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What about the Chipko movement in India? When they were cutting those huge trees, and all these beautiful village ladies went and hugged the trees, and they said, we will not allow you have to cut through our bodies if you have to cut the trees. Then they stopped cutting the trees in the forest. There's Dr. Vandana Shiva, who's got she's saving the Indian seeds from becoming genetically modified seeds, Indian crop seeds. Dr. Vandana Shiva. Then the inner selves encourage people to reduce stress, find their purpose, and give back to the community. This is what our coaches will do. Our coaches will help with inner selves. They can also help with all these things. And this makes life so much more exciting and interesting. Okay, I have coaching to do 8 hours a day, but you know what? 4 hours a day, I can do all these other things.
Yes.
So there's variety, there's interest, there's excitement. You can involve the family in doing this. So you do family things that are good for the society together. Like, okay, we're going on a picnic, but you know what? It's not just a picnic. We have bought 2 trees, mango trees from the nursery. We are going to donate them to the farmers in this area where we are going to have the picnic. We're going to help them plant it. That's a, small little thing.
Right. Wonderful.
Lot of things, so many things, just little things with leadership taking the initiative, thinking about it, little bit ahead of time, little planning. Just one time, if we do it, it makes such an impact on our children, that we don't have to do it every time. If we do it one time in the 18 years that they're with us before they go off to college, we change their whole mind, their brain. You know how they will be talking about us? Oh, my mother and father always did things for the environment. They used to go plant trees. One time you take them on a picnic and you plant 2 mango trees. I'm telling you how much mileage you will get with those children, with their classmates and friends.
Right. This is absolutely right. Good example.
Because a child's mind is so profoundly impacted that the parent was able to think of somebody else and do it, and that they were a part of that activity together. It really profoundly impacts a child's mind, and it makes for a better future. I'm not even saying do it every week or every month. I'm saying do it once in your life with your children watching, and do it together with them. That will make a huge difference.
So let's post-corona, please, I request all the audience, post-corona, just follow what ma'am is saying. This will definitely bring changes in our life. Yes, ma'am.
Just one thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So then there is psychosocial aging process where people do not maintain their roles. The children grow up, then now you're a grandparent. So to maintain a positive sense of self, the person must substitute new roles for those that are lost because of age. So you may not be of use to your family anymore. They may not even want their children to see you as a grandparent. But guess what? There are plenty of children who don't have mothers and fathers. There are plenty of children who don't have grandfathers and grandmothers. They are right around us. They are in orphanages. They are everywhere, all over the country. There are plenty of disabled people that don't have adults who care about them. There are plenty of mentally ill people. There are plenty of orphaned women children. Women children who have been abandoned, who've been tortured, who've been, there's so many kind of suffering and difficulty that humanity has, that there is no excuse for a person to age because they don't have a role in society. There is absolutely a role in society for every human being who chooses to have a role. If your child went away and you're a mother and you're lonely because your child is not at home, go find other children who don't have. There are so many Indian women here, I know, that do that. They are in a city where these Indian children have come from either India or from locally, and they're studying at the college in that city. Every weekend, they will call them home and feed them really well. They will cook for hours, 7-10 dishes. And they'll say, bring all your friends, just come and have a good time. And those children, they feel so loved and cherished and protected by these mothers. They just do it out of the goodness and kindness of their heart. They may have some fruit trees, they'll make some jam, and they'll give the jam bottles to these children. How can there not be a role for such a person? It's impossible for there not to be a role, right?
Right, ma'am. So it's all about the true happiness that will help us in reversing aging.
Yes. It has to come from the inside to know, that you're needed and wanted.
Okay.
If this child graduates, the next young calf is coming. The mother and father have sent and they're praying, oh God, please take care. This little one is leaving and going. And that prayer has come from God and it has fallen into your ears. God is recruiting you to take care of the lamb, that little calf now. That little baby. See, that's what is that beautiful thing, right? The karma box is God. You say prayer and you put your action into it. Then God is finding those people who are receiving your prayer and who want to give you that action that will solve your problems.
Ji. Absolutely.
Then there is a neuroendocrine theory where the hypothalamus, which is a small walnut-sized gland, that stops doing. It loses its precision regulatory ability, and the receptors to the hormones that it releases from the hypothalamus to the pituitary, then from the pituitary to the rest of the body also declines. So actually there's a whole area of aging treatment here in America where we replace hormone therapies. I'm also trained in that. I'm trained in many of these aspects of aging, so I know what to put together for this aging reversal coach and what they can and cannot do and how to do it with supplements rather than prescription hormones and things like that. So we will train them with those things. They'll not maybe go into every detail, but we will tell them if somebody is having hot flashes due to menopause, you can prescribe the DIM to them. You can prescribe some black cohosh or some other things. And they may have some improvement in symptoms. So we'll just give them a sort of a brief thing, but what that will do is it will help them be able to reach people and help people and do it in a safe way with alternate complementary therapies rather than prescription medicines to start with.
Mm-hmm.
We're back to the blue zones, right? So here, the blue zones, people said there are 12 pillars. They said the built environment, so the offices, how they built, the homes, how they're built, the policy on food, and the policy on tobacco. Here, tobacco is a big problem. In rural India also, it's a problem. I don't think it's that much of a problem in urban India, but I could be wrong. It may not be just tobacco, it may be other substances of addiction like alcohol and other things also. So get the local leaders to choose 10 priorities and coach them to make it happen fully. So create no smoking zones, have some policy on food wastage and recycling, right? So that's the thing. Maybe you want to start a composting club and somebody teaches you how to compost food waste and scraps. And then you tell your neighbor, okay, every day, put your food waste in a small plastic bag and bring it here. I have a composting tub. I'll put it in there and then we will get soil out of it in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. We can use it for our plants or we can sell it, whatever you want to do. Or you do it for yourself. Even if you do it for yourself, that's a huge thing. Mm-hmm. So the other 6 pillars where people spend their day are employers, schools, restaurants, grocery stores. This is a big thing. Faith organizations, this is a big thing. And home, right? And so how these can be optimized for health. And then once they are optimized, then they get a blue zone certification. We can help people get a blue zone certification for their office or their home even. So for example, interventions that need to last decades or a lifetime to affect life expectancy or duration of life and lower rates of chronic disease. Within 3 months of starting a diet, about 10% of people will quit. Within 7 months, only 10% will be remaining on the diet. And by 2 years, less than 5% will be on the diet. So an exercise program shows similar pattern. So how do you get people to change their mindset and to grow out of their comfort zone and to adhere to those new and higher requirements of functioning of you as a human being, right? Because we also have people at home that are saying, doesn't matter, just this one time, eat this peda or eat this, gajar ka halwa, it's healthy, it's got carrot, whatever, So, yeah, I mean, what we have to understand is, it's the one time that we say yes to the temptation, we have lost that habit. But it is always correctable. So we slip back, then we push forward. And the coach teaches us how that is not a permanent thing. The next minute we can make a better choice that will make our lives better. Right?
Right, ma'am.
Even daily medicines for people, it drops off over time. So this is a behavioral modification training that the coach has to do. So then we have something called the free radical theory of aging. And so we have a number of supplements and things we can recommend to reduce these free radicals. So our coaches will be talking about this. A free radical molecule has an extra electron. And then it can bind to another molecule which tries to steal that electron. And then the balanced molecule becomes unbalanced and it becomes a free radical. So diet, lifestyle, drugs, radiation are all accelerators of free radical production. We know how to change these things and make them a permanent change. And we know how to temporarily, immediately mop up the free radicals. Then there is something called membrane theory. Age-related changes on the cell's ability to transfer chemicals, heat, and electrical processes. The membrane becomes stiff, or it loses the proteins on its surface that can bind to receptors, that can bind to hormones, or the receptors of hormones, receptors of other proteins that encourage the cell to be healthy or grow or repair itself. Inside the cell, even on the outside of the cell, these membranes become diseased. They become less lipidy, less lipid, but it's not just watery, meaning less flexible. They become stiff, and then the cell breaks. Basically, it's eaten up, right? But there's a way to keep the membrane healthy for longer periods of time. There are supplements that do this, and there are obviously lifestyles that do this, and we can teach them that in the aging reversal coaching program. Then there is something called the cross-linking theory or the glycosation theory of aging, where glucose binds to protein. The protein not only it cannot do its job, it also gets linked up with other proteins that are bound to sugars and cause diseases. Not just cataracts and skin, it's another cause of all diseases. So we can show them how to avoid this. It's a matter of how to control sugars in the diet, which sugars are okay, which ones are not, and how to make sure that the proteins always remain healthy. We will teach them that. So I asked a question. Do you remember this question? What is the one thing that people can do that will reverse their aging? We talked about many things that they can do that will add another 10 to 12 to 20 years to their lives when we talked about the blue zones last time. But I also asked you about one thing that they could do, everybody can do, to reverse aging. Do you remember that question? I gave a 5 choice. Otherwise, we can go back to that.
Yes, ma'am. You have given.
Okay. So 5 minutes left. Do we have 5 minutes or?
Yes, 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. I'm so sorry it's gone so long.
No worries, ma'am. No worries. It's such an interesting thing. We can go on and on and on.
We can talk a long time. This is only a cursory superficial look at it, right? And the thing is, we can talk about 2 million things, but what are 1 or 2 things you can do every day that will dramatically change these things? Mm-hmm. We start with those small, and we build the next small thing that we can do. See, I'm all about doing small things, just the fewest number of the smallest things that we can do to get the maximum impact. Mm-hmm. And then once we do that and we're feeling the benefits of that impact, then we can do the bigger and things, because wellness and immortality is an ever expanding, widening funnel like this. Just like illness and death is an ever narrowing funnel.
Right.
And aging, and boom, it ends in that, like the carom board, the net, that hole. So it goes like this, right? So wellness is the opposite. You start with the smallest thing that brings you out of death. Then it starts reversing aging. Then it starts reversing chronic medical illness. Now you're starting to get to the age of 20, from 80. It's possible. Everything is possible. We just have to know what things to do, and that's what we are doing. We're telling you, we'll train you in this. So we asked that question. We gave 5 options. We said all these things have to be done, but if you couldn't do everything, and if there's only one thing you could do, then this is the one thing. And the answer to that question is strength training.
Strength training, yes, ma'am.
Lifting weights. There is a lot of proof about this and reversing of aging and reversing of chronic medical illness. Kidney failure, diabetes.
Here we are talking about the physical strength or the mental strength?
Physical.
Physical.
Lifting weights.
Right.
So strength training is using muscular force against resistance. Muscles adapt to any type of resistance. The resistance can be a heavy object like this. It can be one's own body weight, like when you're doing a plank or yoga poses. It can be elastic resistance from bands. I have bands too. I wish I brought them. They're just elastic. You just hold them and you stretch. Then you stretch, you release, you stretch, you release. That is another way to strength train. Or it can be machine resistance from pulleys and hydraulics. These are the weight machines that you see in a gym. So again, it's not advancing the slides. Hold on. I'm sorry, the slides were not advancing.
No worries,
if I can find a way to do it better. Just 1 second. Oh, there we go. Now it's advancing again. So strength training makes a person stronger in several ways. It builds muscle tissue. So what we call frailty, or when we see older people and their skin is sagging, they have no muscles, and they look frail and they look aged. Frailty is a loss of skeletal muscle mass. Skeletal muscle mass diminishes and the person becomes frail. So what do you do to counter that? You build it. Actively you build it. Then frailty goes away. It improves your ability to coordinate moving parts, improves how quickly a person can move. It strengthens the connective tissues like tendons. And it can also create a demand for blood delivery through the cardiovascular system.
Okay. And how to build these muscle tissues, ma'am?
Yes, that is what we will do in that aging reversal training as well. And it's also there in other trainings, but this is the most important thing, you know. And I'm sorry, my screen is not sharing well. I almost think I need to come out of that that screen share, you know. 1 second, let me see.
Easy. No
1
worries.
second.
If you say, we can cover it next week also.
Yeah, we can do that. I'll just try to, you know, kind of bring it to a good stopping point here. 1 second.
Okay, right now.
There's lots and lots of benefits of strength training. Bone mass increases, energy increases, stress decreases, reduce risk of injury, including low back pain, posture is better, self-esteem is better, depression and anxiety go away. Look at all these things. Bad cholesterol, blood pressure, glucose,
almost
everything improves. Everything improves with strength training.
It also improves our self-esteem.
Yes. Yes. So important. In the past, strength training was primarily used by athletes to enhance performance and or increase muscle size, and actors too. But now it is recognized as critical to everyone's health and fitness, regardless of gender, age, or ability. And we will stop here. This is the most important message of today.
That's very
Strength training is critical to everyone's health and fitness, everyone, regardless of gender, age, or ability. And we will train our coaches on how to impart strength training for aging reversal.
But ma'am, to be very honest, to ask a question, when we generally talk about strength training, most of the youngsters and the educators, most of the people, they thought like strength training can be done by going into gyms and all these things.
You don't need to go to gym. You can do it at home. You can do it with just your body. It doesn't need to be with weights or bands or anything. If you have those, great. If you don't have them, you can do it with your body. So we will teach a circuit of simple and safe strength training exercises. If people have nothing at home, how they can do it. If they have bands at home, how they can do it. If they have weights at home, how they can do it. And if they want to go to gym, they'll have a trainer or somebody there who will train them. We don't need to teach them that.
Right.
But we will make it very simple and digestible, because you have to do a certain circuit to get the full benefits of the strength training. And we will teach them the core principles of that and how to advance that as they get better, even if they don't have trainer or gym or equipment or anything.
Right, right, ma'am. That is the most understanding point, actually, because many of us associate strengthening like going to gyms and doing things like that.
No, not
So
at all. It can be done at home with nothing.
That's get cleared. So we'll be talking more about it next week. And
Look forward to it, Chitraji. Thank you.
It's I think it's a God wish that you are telling this wonderful things to us, and
Thank you.
hope that
I
with
appreciate you.
the kind words and the knowledge that you are giving to us, it will definitely changing the minds and putting that seed into our minds in one or the other way. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. I just have two things.
Hanji.
Here is how you can reach me: by email and my WhatsApp. These are
Yes.
our activities: Immortality Services, Products, Journal, and Magazine. And next week, I will have a little survey for our viewers to take, to tell us what they think so far, what they liked best, what do they think can be improved, what further topics they want to learn about. And I want to acknowledge again today my greatest gratitude to Major General Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji, about whom I'm thinking every day. I'm praying for every day. He's my brother, my mentor. I miss him terribly, and I want him to come back hale, hearty, and well when he's ready. And praying to God to send him the healing energy. And I want to make sure that his family and he know that I'm available to them. Next week, we will talk about strength training, and we will talk about a particular topic called diabetes reversal. I promised this to Gulshan ji's, one of his family members. And so I hope the gentleman can attend and learn, or whatever he wants to choose, he can do. But if he wants to learn, this is an opportunity. So next week, we will talk about strength training to reverse aging and how to reverse diabetes. And some of that we may have to do it another time. But I look forward to sharing those topics with you. And I want to say Jai Hind, and all my namaskarams to Bharat Mata, to all the mothers today and every day, and all the fathers of India today and every day, and everybody, and all my Indian brothers and sisters. And thank you, Chitraji, so much. I appreciate it. Here are all some further trainings that we can do. Proven programs to reverse diabetes, proven protocols by which chronic medical illnesses have been reversed, proven strategies to gain control. So many things, right? So I just want to share with you, there's a lot that we can do. And I'm really looking forward to your feedback on what you want to hear about and what I can share with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chitraji.